Welcome guys, Michael.io here, and Neo Frontier is finally back. More importantly, Riot finally gave us the gun everybody was waiting for, the Neo Frontier Vandal. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw the Vandal spin that magazine, and then I saw the lasso melee, I thought, okay, Riot knew exactly what they were doing with this one, but then I looked at the bundle properly. We're getting a Vandal, a shorty, and a melee for 6,700 VP. That's it for the weapons. So the real question is Neo Frontier 2.0 actually worth the money, or are we just getting hit by nostalgia and some really good animations? Let's get into it. The original Neo Frontier arrived in June 2023 with the Phantom, Sheriff, Marshal, Odin, and Axe. It became a classic by mixing the Old West with futuristic technology. Neo Frontier 2.0 keeps that idea but goes smaller, a Vandal, Shorty, Valorant, Burst, Lasso style melee, 2 cards and a spray, but no new reactive gun buddy. There's also a bigger Run It Back bundle, combining the new trio with the original Phantom, Sheriff, and Marshal. It's useful if you missed the first collection, but it is a serious amount of VP. Let's start with the design, because this is easily the strongest part of the bundle. Every weapon has 2 completely different personalities. At the lower upgrade level, you get the proper Old West look. Worn metal, wooden parts, brass details, and visible mechanical pieces. It looks dirty, handmade, and a little bit dangerous, basically like somebody in the 1800s somehow got hold of a Vandal blueprint. Then you upgrade it, and the whole thing turns into the Neo version. The wood and old metal become cleaner, the energy starts glowing, and suddenly you've gone from cowboy to space cowboy. The Vandal is definitely the main event. The shape is detailed, but it doesn't feel ridiculously oversized. The pullout is clean, and that rotating magazine animation gives the gun a lot of personality. The inspect is also one of those animations you're going to spam every buy phase instead of actually discussing the strategy with your team. The shorty is better than I expected. Its flip and reload animations make it feel like a tiny gunslinger weapon instead of something you bought because you had 300 credits and a bad idea. But the weapon selection still bothers me. Neo Frontier was made for guns like the Outlaw Bucky or even the Bandit. Those weapons already fit the Western theme. Giving us only the Vandal and Shorty feels like Riot stopped halfway through the bundle. And then there's the lasso. It's the most original item here. You can spin it during the inspect and crack it during attacks. And its traditional and futuristic versions even use different music. The normal rogue version looks perfect. It fully commits to the cowboy theme. The upgraded version is still cool, but I understand why people are calling it the garden hose variant. Once you see it, you really can't unsee it as a visual package. Neo Frontier 2.0 is excellent. Aesthetics gets a 9 out of 10. Now let's talk about the shooting sound, because this can make or break a Vandal skin. The Neo Frontier Vandal has a deep metallic sound with an electronic echo behind each bullet. It feels heavier than Prime, but it isn't as loud or aggressive as Prelude to Chaos. For single taps and short bursts, I really like it. The first shot sounds powerful, and headshots feel satisfying. It has enough bass to feel heavy without sounding exactly like the default Vandal. When you start spraying though, the sound gets a little busy. If you prefer skins that feel really clean and controlled like Prime or Kuronami, this one might feel heavier in your hands. The shorty also sounds good. The blast has some weight, and because you only get 2 shots, the custom reload animation becomes a big part of the experience. Thankfully, that reload is clean. For shooting sound, I'm giving the bundle an 8.5 out of 10. Great for tapping, slightly less clean during a full spray. The kill banner keeps the same Neo Frontier identity as the original bundle, and its color changes with the variant you're using. It remains one of Valorant's best storytelling finishers, but it is the same main concept from the original bundle. It looks great. There's simply no new surprise for Neo Frontier owners. There's also one annoying trade-off. If you keep the weapon at the classic Old West level, you keep the animations and special firing audio, but you do not get the kill banner or finisher. To use those, you need a fully upgraded sci-fi version or one of its variants. That's a shame, because I honestly think the wooden Western version is one of the best looking parts of the skin. I wish Riot would let us use the old model with the complete effects. Alright, let's face the real final boss, the price. Neo Frontier 2.0 costs 6,700 VP. Separately, the Vandal is 2,175 VP. The Shorty is another 2,175, and the lasso is 4,350. That means those 3 items alone would cost 8,700 VP. So buying the bundle saves 2,000 VP before we even count the cards and spray. That discount is good, but only if you actually want all 3 items. The Vandal is something most players use constantly. The Shorty is much more situational, and the lasso looks great, but 4,350 VP for a melee is still expensive. So if you only care about the Vandal, I would just buy the Vandal. You get the best part of the collection for 2,175 VP, and you avoid paying for a Shorty that might sit in your collection after the first week. If you know you'll use the lasso, the full bundle makes much more sense. The Shorty and accessories then become part of the discount. And don't forget Radiant Knight. You still need it for the animations, effects, finisher, and variants, so 6,700 VP is not the whole story. Compared with the original Neo Frontier, the first bundle clearly gave us more weapons. It also had a more natural Western lineup. The Sheriff is still the perfect Neo Frontier skin. The revolver, animations, the sound, the whole cowboy fantasy, it just makes sense. The original also had the reactive wanted poster gun buddy. The sequel fights back with the requested Vandal, better individual animations, and a melee far more memorable than the axe. The original wins on quantity, 2.0 wins on its headline items. Prime is still cleaner and less distracting. Kuronami feels smoother and more elegant. Reaver has that darker, heavier kill feedback. Prelude to Chaos is much louder and more aggressive. Neo Frontier's advantage is personality. None of those skins gives you this exact mix of dusty Western weapon and futuristic space cowboy technology. And none of them lets you slap an enemy with a glowing lasso, which is probably not a sentence I expected to say in a Valorant review. This is a really good skin collection inside a slightly underwhelming bundle. The quality is there. I just wish Riot had included another gun, especially the Outlaw. My recommendation is simple. If you're a Vandal main, buy the Vandal separately. If you love both the Vandal and the lasso, then get the full bundle. And if you already own half of the original collection, don't buy the bigger Run It Back bundle just for the sake of completing it. Now I want to hear from you. Is Neo Frontier better than Prime, Kuronami, Reaver, or Prelude to Chaos? And what weapons should Riot have added instead of the Shorty? Let me know in the comments. If this review helped you save or spend your VP, leave a like, subscribe to myco.io, and I'll see you in the next one.